Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Love Your Liver webinar. I am Megan Rand, founder of Ginger Nutrition, so let's jump right in. I know you're eager to learn about the liver. This is a great topic. So, my name is Megan, a proud owner of Ginger Nutrition, and I'm a certified health coach and also a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, which is a long, fancy name for saying I love lab work. I like to test hormones. I like to test gut function, liver function, parasites, bacteria, all that fun stuff, and then help people restore the balance, restore any imbalance found. So, detoxify the body, learning to fuel their body with healthy foods and finding their ideal diet, what works for them, and basic improvement of digestive function. Those are my favorite topics. So let's jump right into the liver and benefits of supporting the liver. So the liver, I feel like the liver gets left out a lot, the poor liver. It's so important, but it's boring and we don't really want to support it. So, but this list will show you reasons why it is important to support it because these are things we care about. Our skin glowing, digestion, sleeping well. Peaceful sleep is an important aspect of having a well functioning liver. Mental clarity. We've got blood sugar balance. We know how important that is. I talk about that a lot, how that's tied to hormonal balance. Boosting your immune system, right? The liver is helping you get the toxins out that might be weighing down your immune system. And natural weight management. Who doesn't like that, right? You need to have a healthy liver to be able to get excess weight off of your body. And a natural toxin reduction. All right, so the liver, let's talk a little bit more in detail about it. So, the liver is the largest solid organ in your body, about 8 inches wide by 6.5 long by 4 thick. So, can anybody guess how much this bad boy weighs? I was kind of surprised. So, it's 3.5 pounds. So, this is a pretty solid organ, which makes sense because it's so important. It's mostly under your ribs in the upper right part of your abdomen. So that's where it's located and has a lot of important jobs. So it cleanses the blood and it's filtering out the waste products from the blood. Not only that, but it's removing toxins from the bloodstream. This could be drugs, this could be alcohol, environmental toxins, and along with those things, it's also breaking down excess hormones. So I'll see clients who cannot get their hormones balanced, especially if they have high testosterone or estrogen, because of poor liver health, right? You need to have a well functioning liver to be able to process those excess hormones out. So this is a really important factor. So we also have produces bile, which is important for digestion. Secretes bile and help your body absorb fat and fat soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Process the nutrients from your food. It's going to help metabolize and store the carbohydrates, the fats, the sugars, the vitamins, and anything else that we're eating from our food for energy and then brain function. So, of course, those two things are very important, right? The biggest complaints I hear are I don't have enough energy and my brain is foggy. Or that right there, liver is important. It's important in all these things. And it also builds proteins. It manufactures proteins to help maintain blood purity and blood flow. So, wide range, right? You can see a really wide range from this list. So, why is it important to detox the liver? Well, I think because of that long range and wide range in the long list. Those are all things that you want to be working properly. We want to increase the liver function so that it can take care of all the toxins coming in. We'll get rid of those excess hormones and do all those other functions we just talked about. So, this is best done daily in a natural way and slowly so that we can eliminate toxic buildup. If we eliminate too fast, you'll really feel the effects of this. So this detox side effects, feeling nauseous and tired and sick, headachy. We want to be getting the toxins out at a rate that our body can handle it and feel good in the process. You might not feel amazing the whole time, but a slow, steady detox practices will not make you feel horrible. Ideally, this would be done 4 times a year, seasonally. So that way you kind of keep up with what's going on, and if you're not hitting yourself hard 1 time a year trying to flush out all the toxins and then filling it back up, right? Going right back to the junk food and the alcohol. So that's not a great idea. We want this to be an everyday process and then seasonally, nothing crazy, but just, you know, a solid effort to relieve the burden coming in, make sure the foods coming in aren't a burden, that you're not sensitive to them, and increasing your daily detox tools to kind of get the old toxins out. Okay, so supporting the liver helps in. So we talked about how the liver metabolizes fats, right? So a clogged liver, and you're dealing with a bunch of toxins, you won't be breaking down your excess fat. So releasing stubborn weight. This is a really big one because we forget that excess weight can be linked to liver toxicity and not just, oh, I've been eating too much and not exercising. Because plenty of people I see are under eating, over exercising, and the weight will not come off. Their bodies are toxic. So, not to mention that if you have a ton of toxins roaming around in your body wants to protect you from that. You don't want those toxins in the bloodstream and going to the brain and causing serious damage. So, it'll wrap a little layer of fat around that toxin, and you'll store it there. You know, you get all that nice little belly fat, and you're storing toxins and protecting yourself. So, as you can slowly flush those out, your body will let yourself release that weight. So, having more energy, of course, we like that. Liver functioning well will help with that. Getting rid of cravings, kicking cravings to the curb, that's important. Boosting mental clarity, productivity. Obviously, these are all things we want to have. You know, clear skin. So when our detox pathways are backed up, that's when we'll see things coming out the skin. So since the skin is one of the ways that toxins can exit, people will get rashes or acne as a result of forcing their body into quick detox. So there's too much to deal with. So that's when it will come out the skin, and that's when you'll see that kind of rashes. So we like to do it in a slow, steady process so that it can exit. We want to improve digestion by supporting the liver, increase our immunity, and then balance hormones, which we talked about. You know, it's an extremely important factor in hormone balancing is the liver. This gets overlooked a lot. You know, we hear about adrenal fatigue or what I was taught, you know, the HPA axis dysregulation, but it's really going to be hard to ever get those back into balance without your liver working with you. If it's working against you, you're going to be struggling on both sides. All right, symptoms of a toxic liver. I'm not going to read through these. I mean, you can read through them. It's pretty obvious. We got fatigue, digestion, bloating, kind of hits every area, nails, libido, skin, sleep. So every single function of the body is affected. And I just want to make a note. There's a difference between functional lab work and then maybe like your liver enzymes or liver disease that might be checked at your doctor's office. So I'm not talking about liver disease. We're talking about, I ran functional lab work on myself a few years ago. We tested that, it was called urinary bile acid sulfates, or UBAS. So that number, the higher that number was on your test, showed the more bile acid sulfates were spilling over. So the liver wasn't able to process them. There was an excess. So the higher that excess, it was just a sign, a functional sign that something's not working correctly. You're having a hard time filtering it all. And my numbers were actually extremely high on the functional test, but nothing registered on a test at my doctor's office. There's no liver disease, fatty liver, that kind of thing. So if you've had your liver tested and you're like, no, I don't have a problem with my liver, but you have a lot of symptoms here listed on the page, I just want you to consider that there's a different level of testing, functional versus your doctor. So speaking of liver diseases, a toxic liver can lead to lots of diseases, not just liver disease, but highly, linked with allergy, asthma, blood sugar imbalances. Got obesity, fibromyalgia, fertility problems. We talked about the correlation with hormones and then cancer. and autoimmune diseases. So this obviously, again, really, really important organ that we want to be supporting on a daily basis. And why? We're exposed to these toxins all the time. There's nothing you can do about it. You can minimize, trying not to get cyanide and arsenic, right, listed here, or, right? You can minimize and you can eat clean food, but you're still going to have inputs from air, water. You've got pesticides, herbicides, steroids. This is in your meats, in your foods, in your vegetables. And then we've got home products and beauty products. So I remember listening to a speech one time, and this woman said, whatever you're putting on your car, in your home, on your body, anywhere in your life, you want it to be something that you would be okay with consuming because you might end up consuming it, right? So where does that really toxic car wash soap, right, end up? It ends up in the ground and in the groundwater. And then where is that? That's what we're growing our plants with and drinking. So I know that seems a little bit extreme for some, but it is really important to think about what you're putting on your body. Your beauty products, they enter your bloodstream within 26 seconds. So is that something your liver has to filter out? Or is that natural enough that it recognizes it and it just gets assimilated into the body, like coconut oil or something very basic? Next, we've got sugar. This is a big one. It's a huge liver toxin. Sugar reacts like cocaine in the brain. It's this highly addictive substance. And, according to Dr. Mercola, so about 20% of glucose is metabolized in your liver, but fructose, on the other hand, that's from fruit, can only be metabolized in your liver. Because your liver is the only organ that has the transporter for it. So I thought this was interesting because, fructose, it's converted into fructose 1 phosphate, which depletes the liver cells of phosphates. And then this produces a waste in the form of uric acid that blocks enzymes. So, and those are part of your body's natural blood pressure regulator. So then the blood pressure rises, leading to hypertension. And then elevated, like high uric acid, it's also linked with gout. So the sugar and the liver is a huge connection of then, hypertension and gout and things that leading to digestive issues and blood sugar imbalance and even diabetes. Right? We know sugar is not great, but it's also important to think of it coming in forms of fruit. And don't get me wrong, I'm not down on fruit. But I just think we talk a lot about, like I say here, the hidden sugars, right? Could be found in boxed cans, yogurts, ketchup, tomato sauce, right? There's always hidden sugars. But then we also have fruit. And Dr. Mercola says restricting your consumption of fructose to no more than 25 grams a day. Or if you're overweight or have any of these, diseases talked about, then you'd go down to 10 to 15. So that doesn't mean you can't have fruit in a day. So an example, an apple, medium apple is about 9 grams, banana 10, cup of raspberries or blackberries is only 3. So you could easily have some raspberries, some blackberries, and an apple in a day. But relying on lots of fruit and then maybe dried fruit, you have to be really careful with, because dried apricots of 16 grams per cup. That's your whole day's amount. Or figs are 23 grams per cup. So we often think that's a healthy choice. You just have to think about, okay, can my liver handle this? What other toxins are coming in? And just consider that as a source. And of course, alcohol. We drink alcohol. 80% of that is broken down by the liver. So I think we already know that connection. So what can we do? What can we eat? How can we support the liver? So here's a list of foods that are great for the liver, great to add in. Really awesome fruits and vegetables: garlic, carrots, beets, grapefruit, green tea, leafy green veggies, avocados. We've got apples, extra virgin olive oil. That's one of my favorites. Put that on the carrots and some of the leafy greens and avocados. They have a nice little salad that all supports your liver. Add a little lemon juice. Do lemon water every morning. Limes, lemon or lime, turmeric, and cabbage. All right, so beyond food, let's talk a little bit about food preparation. So thinking a step further. So what is your food touching? What are you using? Are you drinking out of a plastic bottle and then getting, the toxins in the plastic that are leaching into the water? So we can try to aim for stainless steel or glass drinking container. Reducing your plastic in general, your utensils, your plates, your storage containers, and also what you store in. So, non plastic containers for kind of Tupperware. There's some really awesome stainless steel and glass ones. And even for kids, there's some great stainless steel lunch boxes that my daughter has. So, also, thinking about not microwaving in the plastic containers, having that plastic leach into your food, and avoiding BPA in plastic containers. I think we hear a lot about that now, but you know that's a really important one to start paying attention to. And then we have the Dirty Dozen. So this changes often, so you can check the Environmental Working Group, EWG.com, for the latest and greatest. But these are the fruits and veggies that have the most pesticides, herbicides, etc. On them. So these are foods that you either need to wash really well or aim for organic on this list. So again, this list changes, so check back in, but this is just something to keep in mind when you're picking and choosing your fruits and veggies and what you want, where you want to put your money, because we don't always have the money for organic everything. So at least you'll know, okay, my greens, my grapes, my apples, my berries, I'm going to aim for organic. And then lessening the load at home. So we talked about, what you put on your car, what you put in your home. This is more about that switching to natural household products and personal care. So I know you've probably heard me talk about before. I'm a fat face skincare lover and user, non toxic, amazing products. And I also was just at Paleo FX in Austin last week, and I got to talk to the owner of Branch Basics, which I had never used before. And I was really looking for an upgrade to use in our home. So I bought their full cleaning, kit where it kind of comes with a concentrate and a bunch of spray bottles. And that stuff is awesome. She gave me a little hand sanitizer, not sanitizer, but it's just a non toxic cleaner. So when you're in restaurants or places where all they have is the nasty antibacterial soap, you can just pull that out of your purse and spray your hands. But always reading the labels and checking ingredients on anything you're using at home, products, just different things that come into the house that are going on you, going on your kids, going on your clothes. And just remembering that your liver has to process all those toxins coming into contact with your body day in and day out. So we want to lighten the load, right? We want to have hormones functioning well. We want to have clear skin. We don't want to be sleeping well. So it's hard to connect what you're using on your dishes with your sleep, right? But they do go hand in hand, and this actually can make a big difference for people. Hydration. How many times have you heard this? So, hydrating, it's going to hydrates and lubricates the body. So, lots of water, good quality water, with the minerals still in it. I love my Berkey filter. It's a carbon filter, but whatever you want to use is great. So, just getting good quality water moving through your system. It's vital nutrients through the body, removing waste, eliminating toxins, regulate your body temperature, easy digestion, and promotes healthy poop, right? Who doesn't want that? And then maintaining a healthy weight. So just get that water flowing. And then if you want to up that a little bit, you can do the lemon water elixir. This is something that we'll do in the Love Your Liver Detox, the group program that's going on May 14th. So in the morning, a cup of room temperature water, juice from one lemon, apple cider vinegar, tablespoon, and then optional sweetener if some people really can't handle the apple cider vinegar without, although I personally love it. So, and then a dash of sea salt and a dash of cinnamon. So this is going to stimulate your digestion, wake the digestion up in the morning in a nice way, releases the toxins from the liver that have been building up over the night, jump-starting your digestive enzymes, and it's loaded with vitamin C. So this is a great way to start your day. So, what is a safe liver cleanse? In my opinion, uh, a safe and effective protocol should include, we want a gradual approach, right? I talked about when you just force the toxins out quickly, they're going to come out the skin, you're going to feel horrible, you're going to be nauseous. So, we want a gradual approach, we want to reduce inflammation and just lessen the toxic load on the body using real whole food. But we also want to make sure we're getting enough food and proteins. This is really important in this program. There is no deprivation. We're avoiding certain foods that are a trigger, a food sensitivity trigger, but we're not limiting the amount you can have because amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, are actually very important for detoxification and the elimination process. So we make sure that there's plenty of snacks, plenty of food in the meal, and you add your own clean protein to each meal. And then what else? Reducing sugar. Sugar we talked about being so toxic, so addictive, and I think everybody's aware of caffeine addictions. I'm not against caffeine in general, but I think it is great for everybody, no matter what their state of health, to try pulling it out for a week and see what their relationship really is with caffeine. Because a lot of people realize at that point, they say, oh, I didn't realize that I was going to get headaches for a week, or I didn't realize how tied I was to my cup of coffee. So, replacing it with a nice tea, or there's some herbal coffees that don't have caffeine, and still getting that ritual, but removing that caffeine need, and then seeing how you feel. And maybe you're a type of person who does well and actually functions, perfectly well with a cup of coffee. But this is a good test. And then we're also, crowding out foods that wreak havoc on your system, all while nourishing the body with the good stuff. So anything that you're sensitive to, or foods that are processed and have additives, are going to be harder on the liver. Anything that is, if you have a leaky gut and you're eating a food that you're sensitive to and it's leaking into the bloodstream, your liver then has to deal with that. So when you're sensitive to a food, I often hear, well, I just get a little bloating. Like, I know I don't do that great with dairy, but it's not horrible. So your body is reacting to that, having an immune reaction. Your own self is attacking that protein as if it were an invader. You're using up resources, and then that gets into the bloodstream. Your liver has to deal with it. So getting those foods out for a solid period of time is really important to actually give the body a break, let the gut heal back up. So if you know you have a problem with a food even a little bit, I suggest really committing to a 3 to 6 month period of pulling it out, so that then later on that food might just be fine for you. But we need to give it a solid time to restore that gut. All right, another cool, simple daily detox tool. So these are the kind of things we're going to do in the Love Your Liver detox. We're going to do tongue scraping. So cheap, like super easy. You have this metal tongue scraper. You use it in the morning before you brush your teeth. And it's removing all the bacteria that your body worked up overnight and sent to your tongue. You're pulling it out. You're not just brushing it, scraping around, but you're actually pulling it out. And the coating on your tongue will be a really good gauge for you to see how much your junk and toxins you're releasing. Because I don't know if you've ever paid attention, but when you have a cold, there'll be a thick coating on your tongue, and you want it to just be clear and thin. That will show that your body has detoxed everything, but in the process, it often gets kind of a white film, or gunky. You want to reach back as far as possible and pull forward, just scraping off that film. Okay, so now you know why supporting your liver is so important, right? So all those things we talked about, this is the first step that I take with all my private clients. So we're going to do the Love Your Liver Spring Detox as a group if you feel like you need a group to go through this, because this is just a basic allergy elimination diet. This is something you can definitely do on your own. Add in detox tools. Just removing foods that are common known sensitivities for 1 week and slowly putting them back in. So the group is going to start May 14th. We've got a Facebook group for support, a big list of daily detox tools, all your recipes, your shopping list, anything that you need so that you can understand why you're doing what you're doing. And this will be for anybody who is considering my 4 month one-on-one health transformation program. It's currently full until either June, maybe even July at this point. So if you're considering this program, this is the first step I'm going to take with all my private clients. So it's an important first step. Go ahead and do this, get prepared, and then anyone who does the detox, they can apply the cost of the detox towards the one-on-one program if you decide to continue and working with me. So nothing is lost, and maybe you'll discover a couple things and feel great, right? So maybe that's all you need is just eliminating the foods that are bogging you down. And then there's another group of people who I feel like are in a different camp and they need a little bit deeper help. So I've been thinking, what can I do with these people who are really ready to start on the basics but aren't quite ready for, the time needed for a one-on-one program. So adrenal dysfunction, hormones is kind of the next topic that I always dig in with because we just talked about how important it is to support the liver to balance hormones. So this is the second step that I always take with my private clients is looking at hormone balance because hormones are at the center of all the other functions. Your thyroid will be more stressed out if your hormones are imbalanced. You won't be able to metabolize your carbs as well. Your brain function won't be working as well. So this program right here, Paleo Rehab, is a really awesome online program that's being put together by two ancestral registered dietitians, which is awesome. They both worked for Chris Kresser, and you all know how much I love him. So this is going to be an online guide to adrenal fatigue, and they're going to get you set up with all the basics. This is something everyone's going to need to do, and so for some people, then this is going to kind of be a last stop. They maybe just have a little bit of hormone imbalance and they need to get the basics back in line. And for other people, there's much deeper reasons for their adrenal dysfunction. So maybe parasite, leaky gut, metals, and it's not for them. It's not just mental emotional stress alone. But no matter what the underlying cause is, you really have to do the basics. You have to modify lifestyle and food and mindset to restore hormone balance. So this course will provide the basics. And then, so anyone who wants to take the course, it's $197. Again, same thing as the liver detox. You can then apply $100 of that to my 4-month one-on-one program. If you find that you got part of the way and you realize, hey, I actually have a lot more going on. Now I'm ready to look at the gut, right? Now I really want to test my hormone levels and see where I am, right? So we can follow up with some lab tests, but you'll be getting all the basic work done and be ready for the one-on-one program so you can get the most out of that time with me one-on-one. And then one more thing to sweeten the deal for anybody who wants to do the Love Your Liver Detox and the adrenal program, I'm going to throw in a complimentary 50-minute session with me so that we can kind of customize and set you up for the month following. So you'll have done the basics, right? You'll have found your food sensitivities, you'll have supported your detox, and you'll have the basics to work on hormone balancing. So then we can talk a little bit more detail in what you need to be doing next and see, is there more to it for you? Do you need to look into candida, bacterial overgrowth, or do you just really need to continue with the healthy lifestyle that you're following? So if you're in a chronic state of high cortisol, right, if you haven't taken care of the basics and your adrenal function, then you'll never be able to restore your gut function. So high cortisol is linked with leaky gut. So again, even if you have things going on with your gut, we still have to do all of these basics. All right, it was so good talking with you all today. I hope you learned something, and whether you decide to come do, an online program or a one-on-one program with me, I just want everybody to go take a few action items. So like, which foods are you going to add in to support your liver? Are you doing your tongue scraping? Are you drinking lemon water in the morning? Those small changes can make huge difference for people. So go pick some, go pick some and then watch this again in a week and say, all right, what else am I going to do? You don't necessarily need a program. A lot of you just need to take what you know you need to do and start doing it, right? Drinking more water, paying attention to exercise, getting good sleep. So I hope this was great and beneficial for everybody. And I will be seeing you all in the Facebook group, hopefully, joining us for the spring detox. Okay, have a great day. Bye. Hey, hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome to the Love Your Love Your Liver?